I wanted to go through some reports with you. I know that there's been some concern lately over some of the activity towards the progressive spine site, but rest assured I want to show you that there's some great upward momentum here, and I welcome any comments that we could go through on this. I think we also have to look at what's the real things that need to be accomplished from a conversion standpoint and what people are clicking on and how they're actually getting to your site and turning into patients. I just want to start off with the analytics, looking back a couple of months into April and showing the continued upward trending of the activity coming to your site. You can see now we're consistently over 100 sessions in a week, and that's really kind of an indication that this is a nice upward standardized continuing trend that's going to happen over as we continue to do SEO and we continue to improve the pay-per-click account, and also social as well. So it's a good indication, and really following that up with looking at where you're getting ranked. We've had about a 20,000 space move with all the keywords that we're going after, and a lot of the stuff that we're going after is come up from virtually nowhere. And to take a site from March, April time frame when we really started this journey with the new site, this is a pretty good result. Most of the stuff that you have that is of a very important nature is now on the second or third page. Some of the easier to commit to first page or first result stuff is on the first slot on the first page. And I think one of the things that we're finding is that we need to kind of adjust where we put our efforts from a perspective of where your best bet for your conversion is for these terms. And I'm going to explain that to you once I get to the AdWords. But before I do that, I wanted to just jump into our call tracking system and just jump in here real quick and show you a couple of things. All right. We have all the tracking from the last couple of weeks. You can see that there was about 17 calls that came through, whether organic SEO or through pay-per-click. And what we're actually doing for some of this activity is creating notes. And what I'm going to do is when this report comes over to you, I'm going to listen to all these phone calls to see if they were sales, see where there's some opportunity, and also see where there was some either new patients, and also if there are opportunities for you to potentially call some of these folks back that could be potential patients. So what I'd like to do is work with you and Corey to kind of get on a pace where we check this out. Now, obviously your practice is not as extensive as some of the other, pain management, chiropractic, and the rest of it, where there's literally hundreds of phone calls. There's a very specific reason why, obviously people are calling you. But, what's kind of important is that we make sure that if there's opportunities there, that we make sure that you're aware of, anything. And we've done this before. I just wanted to bring it up to your attention. So again, this is a good trajectory for this particular domain, being that it's kind of brand new. We've been loading the other sites up as well. Workers' Comp NJ is now coming up on the first and second pages for all the workers' comp terms. And of course, as you know, we've had some really good success with getting all the laser spine surgeon terms pretty much on the first page and some of the slots that are critical. So we know that this is driving traffic and new phone calls as well. So these are sort of the derivatives of the activity that we've been doing, along with all the other pieces of building your community from a social standpoint and getting activity through that, and also creating the content that drives, again, some of the more long tail keywords. I just wanted to see if we've got a couple of phone calls here we can track that came in through laser spine sensor. You know what I'm going to do? I'll put that on a separate. Let's see if we've got. So we've got some calls coming through the laser spine center, and again, I'll put this in the same report where we've got some notes for you. And again, here you've got a note already in here that you had a new client from this new website. Right, let's get into the other piece I wanted to discuss, which is so this is your AdWords campaign, and what I'm looking at is the last 30 days on what keywords created a conversion. And we mean conversion, I'm talking about someone actually went to the Contact Us page and either filled it out, but they went to the Contact Us page, meaning that they're interested in coming over to speak with you guys. And what we're finding is that the keywords that are converting are not what we think they might be all the time. And this has shifted quite a bit since we started. What we're finding is that it's varying up quite a bit. You can see we've got people who are looking for a zip code search that are converting. And what I'm more impressed with is when there's a 100% click-through rate and your conversion rate is at 100%. So I'm really looking at the ones that have specifically targeted you and end up with you. And you can see Spine Specialist NJ, which is one of the things we're going to want to work on as opposed to Spine Surgeon. I think is one of the things that we're potentially opening up. Spine Doctor. Again, so we're not seeing Spine Surgeon NJ or Spine Surgery. We're seeing Doctor and Specialist, and this is because most people type that in as a way of doing it. But still, your conversions were not as strong as these more broad match terms. Lumbar spine surgery. Here's a more longer term that converted. Here's a more specific spine surgeon. Here's your minimal spine surgery. So that's the one you'd think would convert the best, but it did get to 100% conversion, but very rare was that search. Now here's spine surgery, which you came up for. Then so these, I think, we go right to about spinal decompression therapy when our conversions end. So just about, yeah, so we're just about there. So those are all Spine Specialist North Jersey. That's another one that would be a good one to go after. So we're finding that the actual terms that convert to people going to your Contact Us page or contacting you are not so singly thought about from a SEO perspective. And what I'm trying to kind of explain to you is that we have a lot of clicks for a lot of different things, but they don't always end up into conversions, meaning that they don't end up being somebody who actually creates a conversion. Now we also can track this by keywords from the derivatives through the phone calls, but what I'm seeing here is that I think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit from an SEO perspective we can approach. Now you can see that from an organic standpoint, going back a few months, your impression count is now consistently over 250. In fact, it's spiking to now 300 or 431. So you've got resonance with this site. You can also see the red line starting to bump up more as your organic search is being found more. You see in one day you ended up with 13 clicks for various different terms. Now, Google's not going to tell you all the terms that are in here. They're going to give you sort of a varied, um, I guess you could say, reasonable amount of ones that they'll support. But overall, we can see this impression count going from literally just under 100 a few months ago to now um, getting close to 450. So that's a huge, huge marker that this is taking hold. And again, it takes typically about 6 months for Google to start to recognize a site in its authority algorithm. So going back to the SEO piece of this, what I wanted to bring up to you is that if we look at what we're tracking, which was sort of traditional back surgery, herniated disc, New Jersey, disc surgery, spine surgeon, Inglewood, back relief surgery, we didn't see any of these terms that were converting terms. So what we'd like to do is take all of the recent 30-day conversion terms and take them and use them as our SEO subjects so that we can bring them up for this. Now, since they're broad match terms, if we go back here, we want to take pieces of this as a strategy component and look at spine specialist NJ and then spine doctor NJ, and then change those to spine doctor North Jersey, spine doctor spine specialist and North Jersey, things that we see, and then use some of the zip code searches as well as part of it, so we can build out landing pages specific to that on the Progressive Spine site. So that's what our strategy is going to be moving forward. I would like to chat with you and get through some of the other topics around building other microsites that would relate to some of this. I think we could find that if we were building similar to a laser spine surgeon sites that related to spine specialist, best spine doctor, things that would relate to the things that we see start to convert, and look at them over a period of time, I think we could get the best out of all of these terms. I know that's a lot to cover in one session. That's why I want to catch up with you. So I hope you're doing well. I was on vacation for the last couple of weeks and just returned now to chase everybody down and get appointments set for this month. All right, we'll talk with you soon.